To the victor go the spoils.
Oh my, look at those spoils. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Pour us a drink, spoils.
Hello humans, and thank you for joining me in another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, smash the like button. Now, let's get ready for the show. On today's episode... Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Today, Blitz the League. But you know guys, while I was playing this game, and I was about to make my team, started off, I was going to make the Cowboys, that is my team, but then as I'm scrolling through the different logos that they had one of the logos look like the Washington Redskins logo, right? And then I started thinking, well, what are they going to call this team? They're talking about changing the name of the team, and it looks like that's pretty imminent. Now, without going, into the debate of whether they should do it or not, that the fact is that they are going to change it, right? That's the fact. And what are they going to call it? That's the question. And that's what I was struggling when I was going to name the team in this particular game. Now, I have loved football all my life. And man, it's a game that I love. I love sports. And it's probably the biggest expression of my love for America, and I'm an American, right? But I grew up abroad, and one of the ways that I would stay connected to my country was to learn and watch football as a young kid. The funny story is I taught myself how to speak English when I was a kid. I knew a little bit of English, but my vocabulary wasn't that strong. And I learned a lot of my English by watching and learning football. And I would watch as much as I could college, NFL. And it's where I got a lot of my diction from. A lot of the way that I speak comes from that. Comes from broadcasting and just watching a lot of TV and mostly sports. When I came back and when I was a kid, I thought that would be that's what cool guys did, right? What do you know when you're 10 years old or 9 years old? But anyway, so football has a very, very special place in my heart. It kept me connected while I was away. You never appreciate your country as much as when you are away from it. Anyway, as a kid, I never thought about the name. I really didn't. I grew up like many American kids watching The Lone Ranger, Cowboys and Indians, things like that, right? And I never reflected on it until I was much older, and I actually met one of probably the only two full-blown Native Americans that I have ever met in my life. And that was part of the problem, right? You don't know that something's offensive until somebody points it out, or somebody that's affected by it points it out, right? I'm sure that if they would have been called the Washington taco lovers, or, I'm trying to watch my words because I don't want to get the video banned, or, the rice loving team, or, the saltine cracker loving team, I would have been more sensitive or educated to it, because I have many friends of, those ethnicities, for example. But I never thought about it, right? Until it came up. Even while I was growing up watching football, it really wasn't something I ever thought about, right? And now thinking about it from a video game perspective, the minute this changes. The minute the name of the team changes, everything that you own as far as football, as far as a video game, as far as anything, becomes a collectible immediately, right? Because nobody is going to have it, and they're not going to sell it anymore, right? So the items are going to just become more valuable. But at the same time, regardless of the price increase of a game or anything like that, which is not relevant, what do you call the team, right? What would be the best name coming out of this, with a team that has won Super Bowls, a team that has a legacy within the league? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. All I can come up with is inappropriate names, and sometimes when things become uncomfortable, they become funny, so I don't know if it happens to everybody, but sometimes when I have a tough dilemma, tough question, the first place I go to is comedy, and I start thinking about probably the most inappropriate things, right, to call the team, which I'm not going to say here again because I don't want to get the video banned. But I think it's a good exercise to think, what other creative names we can call this team. If you want to comment down below, only wrong answers, right? Only wrong, either constructive or funny answers. That would be that would be cool. I mean, what are you going to call it? About the Washington politicians, the Washington sewer. Geez, I mean, and I'm just saying that because of the whole, political. There's a bunch of politicians there, not having anything to do with the people. Washington bodybuilders, the Washington what? What do you call this team? And it doesn't matter what they pick. Really, it doesn't matter what they pick. It's not going to sound right to people that have been fans of this team for years, for generations, right? Can you imagine the guy that his dad passed on the legacy, and he's really invested in this team and things like that, and he doesn't really understand why it is. I mean, I can't even fathom, as a Cowboys fan, and with the culture today, I'm sure that at some point, some offended soul is going to say, well, Cowboys were racist. A lot of people were racist back in the past. Not only in this country, but in many countries. I know that in the country that I come from, they were super racist in the past. And now, America is we're really, I know it doesn't seem so, but as far as race, we're really ahead of the game around the world. I wouldn't say everywhere, but in most places. I've traveled many countries in this world, probably more than most regular folks, and I can see the difference of not only the freedoms that we have, the expressions we do, and how people are treated. Believe me, in some of the most developed countries that you might think of, some of the more open countries that you might think of, it exists, and it's part of human nature. Unfortunately, people are tribal, but getting back to this, what do we call this team? What would be the proper name? Well, let me close out with the Blitz, which is more, this game stepped away from the old formula. It's more like it plays a little more like Madden, yet it has some real football elements to it. You can gamble on your own team, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of smack talk, of course, and you can bet, and you can make money, and I like the story-driven nature so far. I just started playing it. If you like that kind of thing, if you like wrestling, and if you like football, and if you want a combination of the both, well, here's some smack-talking football for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave some gameplay of the first game that I barely won by the skin of my teeth. And so you guys can appreciate the game. It's still out there. It's not that easy to find. You can find it online, right? But to find it on GameStop would probably be the best, because you could find it for a lot cheaper than you would on eBay. But you know, there's always deals out there. If this is your cup of tea, keep on searching. You can customize your teams. It's a different league, but you know, it's an okay game if you like football. But in the end, what do I call this team? I don't know. I think I'm just going to create the Cowboys and play with that, because that's not an easy answer for me, and I don't think for anybody. Alright, humans, I will catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below what you think the best name for the new team should be. Alright guys, stay blessed. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
To get into scoring position, and then your kicker can't manage to split the uprights when it matters most. One half gone. Arizona leads by a point. And 30 for the offense. Offense facing a second and long.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click the notification bell, and remember, never be afraid to be happy. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.